The Light 95.9, we're delighted to have with us a new sponsor. His name is Eric Kashdan, owner of K&K Plumbing. And Eric, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. First of all, tell us a bit of background about K&K Plumbing and how it got started.
Thank you for having me. I worked for a plumbing company, and I didn't like the way he treated people. I felt that it was either his way or the highway, and I don't believe people should be treated that way. It's their home. They should have a right to say what goes on in their home. So I just opened my business being 100% for customer service.
Wow, just like that?
Just like that.
And how long have you been in business now?
17 and a half years.
Well, it's working. You said something key, the customer is right. You know, we always hear that phrase, the customer is right, but you live it and you say it.
Yes.
And so you've been 17 years. How has plumbing changed over the years? I can't even imagine.
Well, it's not the plumbing has changed. The materials have changed.
There you go.
You know, everything is gradually moving forward, and you have to keep up with what works and what doesn't work. It used to be copper was a big thing, but everybody wanted to steal it. So now they went to plastic, you know, and different kinds of plastic does different things. So
well, if you start off with that by saying plastic and then copper, they still do copper, right?
Yes.
Say the client comes to you and says, well, look, you tell me what's best. And then what do you say?
I give them their options. I tell them copper does this, and it's good for this, and plastic does this, and it goes for that. For example, plastic, the PEX piping guarantees not to break. It'll freeze, but it'll expand and contract so it won't flood your house. Copper, when it freezes, it just blows apart.
That's interesting because we have copper in ours. We have that. You know, they want to go the plastic. So either way, what do you mean it freezes? You know, I know it freezes, but then what?
Like with copper, it freezes and expands.
Okay.
And then it splits the copper. With plastic, when it freezes, not all plastic, just PEX piping. It'll expand, and then when it thaws out, it'll go back to normal size. It won't break.
I can't even imagine the places you have to work in. You have such a small area at times, like a commode or anything like that. I can't even imagine. What's that like?
Yeah, try squeezing it to an 18-inch vanity to put a new faucet in. It's a tight. You learn how to just twist your head in ways it's not supposed to go.
Like that. And you know, when you've been doing this, first of all, let's give your address, where you're located, and if people want to get in touch with you.
We're out of East Canton, Ohio. The office number is 330-875-8003, and we have an 800 number, which is 888-PLUMBIT-1. And
I know if you get emergency calls, you take those 24 hours, or how's that work?
Yes. Usually emergencies will be handled quickly. It's on an emergency basis.
You know, there's so many things you say. Things have changed. Technology has changed, and products have changed. You said that. And you're on call, and you do have this, but how do you tell somebody let's talk about maintenance of plumbing? I know, I just thought of that, so tell me about that.
Okay, so let's start with a couple of things. One, your water heater should be flushed out at least once a year. It even says it in the owner's manual, flush out your water heater once a year. Garbage disposals, if you want them to smell better, throw lemon rinds in there. If you want to keep the blade sharp, throw ice cubes in there. They sharpen the blades. With just normal maintenance, you know, keeping an eye on things, wiping things down, taking care of it is how you maintain your home. You
got me there, because I never thought of that about our water heater. I know I just glanced through it. We just flush it. What do you do? Just turn it on, and what's the procedure?
You hook a hose to the bottom of it.
Okay, there you go.
There's a spot for a hose.
Right.
You turn it on and you let it run for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then you go around and you open up a hot water spigot higher than the water heater.
Like, in other words, okay.
And then you just shut the water off to the water heater and let it just drain. And then every couple of minutes you turn the water back on to stir everything up at the bottom, because if you don't stir it up, it just sticks there and clumps there.
Eric Kashdan is our guest. He's a new sponsor on the Light 95.9 from K&K Plumbing in East Canton. He'll give his address and phone number one more time. You made me think about this. Like, say if you have I'm just throwing this out, a spigot, or what do you want to? You turn it on, and the cold water's running just a little slow, but the hot water's running fast. Can you give me an idea what that means?
Yeah, if it's a single handle faucet,
yes,
then it's probably something in the supply line or the valve that got stuck. If it's a two-handle faucet,
ours is a two-handle.
Okay.
All right.
So in a two-handle faucet, it could be just the stem itself under the handle is clogged, and you can just take it out, clean it out, and then put it back in, or you can just replace it. If it's just hot and cold shares the same spout.
Right.
So if one's having a problem and the other one isn't, then you know it's on that side that the problem is. It's not in the faucet.
So we can do that ourselves, or I'd rather call somebody and do it. I'd be afraid to do it.
You can do that yourself. I run my business very honest.
Yeah.
So if I feel it's something I can walk you through over the phone, I'm not coming to your house to charge you. I just had a customer call me on the way here asking me about coming over and setting the hot and cold temperature in his shower faucet. And I told him, I said, you really don't want to pay me to do that. It's going to take me 5 minutes. I'm going to have to charge you a service call. Take a picture of it, send it to me, and I'll walk you through it yourself. And I said, that's just how I run my business. It's got to be honest and fair.
That's why you're going to really be you do it. That's why you've been in business for 17 years.
Yes.
I think sometimes listening, like you're a well-known, an unkept secret. I mean, people know about you, but we want people to know more about you and what you stand for. You stand for integrity. You stand for character. You stand for being honest, and that's why you're successful for 17 years.
Thank you very much, and we love to give back. We do a lot for the community.
That's great. That's wonderful. One other thing is preventive maintenance, like you said, the hot water tank. Now, I noticed this. In our house, if I turn the hot water, I got to let it run for a while before it gets hot. So what do I do? What's wrong?
Well, there's nothing wrong. You're turning on the faucet the furthest away from the water heater.
Okay.
It's always going to be a while for it to turn on.
Like it's downstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
And the water heater's on one side of the house, the faucet's on the other side of the house.
Okay.
So they make a recirculating line that you can tie in from the bottom of the water heater, run it all the way over to that side so it doesn't take that long. So there's a lot of things you can do, to solve most problems.
What is the life of a water heater? How many years?
Well, life expectancy of any appliance nowadays is 10 years.
So, but we have to flush it every year?
Right. You can get 20, 30 years out of a water heater.
You can get, okay.
But life expectancy is only 10. If you get more than 10, you're doing great, especially with all the water nowadays.
What's the myth about this? Some people say, hey, now remember, when you take your hoses off for the winter, you turn your faucet on and let it drip, or you shut it off from inside. Is that right?
Yes, you're supposed to disconnect all your hoses during the winter from your outside lines, because if not, the residual water left in the line will freeze and expand and travel back into the house and then blow the faucet apart. And you will not know until you go to use your faucet when you're outside next spring or summer, and then you come inside and your basement's flooded. Because it won't leak outside, it'll leak inside.
So I got to do this week.
Yes.
We got the hoses off.
Yes.
All right. So turn the faucet on, right?
Yep.
And then go in the basement, and then just turn ours is like this did years ago. We have one of those levers. You push it down and something like that. So you just shut it off like that.
Just turn the valve off and then let it drain out and then go shut the one outside off.
All right, another situation I want to bring up to mind to you. I was thinking about this. My neighbor has a huge tree. You know where I'm coming from.
Yes.
And he told me every 2 or 3 months he'd have to call him. And the guy said, you got these roots running in there, and they take them out. So how do you prevent it? So what he did was he cut the whole tree down.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the only way. I don't know.
No, they make stuff you can pour down your drain as maintenance. You can buy it at any hardware store in the drain department, and it's down there. It maintains the roots that are in the drain. It'll kill them. So every so often you can just pour the stuff down your drains, and it'll take care of that.
So how often do you do that?
I think it's like every 6 months.
Okay.
You have to read the directions.
Where do you pour it in?
You can flush it down a sink, a toilet, wherever.
Oh, so that'll okay. Because we had that done once. We had it once. We had the guy come in. He took out that, and it was. I mean, it ran great. After that, it was fine. But so what things can we look for in plumbing? Maybe I'm not putting you on the spot. Like if you see your commode is running awful slow and the stopper. I had that once. I went crazy. I didn't know what to do.
There's a couple of things to look for. Look for corrosion building up on valves and on fixtures. It means you got a high scale content in your water. Best way to clean that is with white vinegar. White vinegar, clean your faucets, throw it in your dishwasher every once in a while, and run a load through because it cleans all that up.
So you throw the white vinegar in the tank?
Of the dishwasher?
No, in the commode?
Well, not in the commode.
I mean, in the tank?
Like in your dishwasher.
Oh, yeah.
You throw it in just a cup full in your dishwasher. You wipe all your faucets down with white vinegar. It keeps the shine and everything and the corrosion off of it. In your tank, do not put anything in the tank of the toilet. It eats the flappers.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, do not.
Okay.
And most toilets have a good warranty on them. That will ruin the warranty.
Well, it's really exciting, and I appreciate you giving us some of your time, learning a lot about plumbing. So, Eric, give your location and telephone number where they can get in touch with you.
Phone number is 330-875-8003. The location is East Canton, Ohio, and we have an 800 number of 888-PLUM-IT-1.
All right. Eric Kashdan from K&K Plumbing on the Lakes 95.9.